Good morning as I sit here having my coffee. Hi, Bubby. It's April 1st today. And yeah, I have some crazy things going on. It's always some crazy things going on here. It's just crazy. Just nuts. What I have going on now is I have renting this place has really became a really absolutely freaking crazy thing. Really, really crazy. I've been in this place for about 5 years now, 6 years. And about 3 years ago, George Ortman called me drunker than a pig, asked me how my business is going. And I told him it was, God, it's going great, George. It's just going so great. Well, he was blasted out of his freaking mind. And he said, well, since it's going so good, I was talking to the boys and we figured we should raise the rent to keep up with the higher prices of rent in the valley. So let's go. He said, let's go big. Let's just go. What do you think? And I think he said something about $500 boom increase. And I took him down to 3 and I said, we can talk about it next year. Going again. Well, I wanted this place so bad, especially after what I've been through, and my business always does pretty well. So he went to 3. I said, we can talk in a year and about see how we do there, whatever. And I wanted in this place bad. After what I'd been through in Washington with Candace and all of the bullshit that had gone on, the serenity in this place to me was priceless. And I could see myself paying upwards of $1,400 a month. I didn't tell him that. But it's like, Jesus, this is worth its frickin' weight in gold after that frickin' Marysville debacle. So, the tranquility, So anyway, then a year after, he calls me again, blasted, and I bet you, and I have the records now. I went to the bank, got all of the records and everything. And, Jesus, it was about 365 days after he called me again, blasted out of his mind, cranked me up again, another 200. So I was at 12. Well, then I'd talked to Carlos down here, the husband of the original woman that owned this place, and she got the boyfriend George that lives in Alaska. I got a call from George, and he offered to sell his place to me. He says, if you can come up with the down payment, he says, you let me know. And he says, I'll sell it to you. You come up with the down payment. Well, to me, that put me a little bit ahead, because I still had this business getting her off the ground, and I really didn't even. Well, I also had peripheral vision enough to know that he was trying to sell his place off underneath Carlos. Trying to sell it under his breath. Carlos and the boy's breath. And I knew, me being me, it's highly unlike me to come up with $20,000 and go up to him and say, right out of the chute, say, here's $20,000, where do I sign? Hurry up, let's do this. Yeah, I want to get this done before Carlos finds out too. Let's just hurry up and do this half-assedly. So I really didn't bite on that, and I guess he could tell, because then he said, hey, I'm going to have my brother come, and he's a pickled fucking drunk. He says, I'm going to have my brother come up and take some pictures inside the house. And I'm like, I'm going to be at work. I'm not going to have somebody I don't fucking know. And the way you are, you sound like a bottom feeder. The way you are, I don't know if I want some yahoo coming in, unlocking the door and coming into my house for the fucking day. And I don't have one thing to hide in this house. But it's just the principle of being, you know what? I don't want him coming here. I don't want him coming here. And that too had two reasons. Just my ethic and the way I am. And two, just because I don't want someone coming in my house because I'm private. I have nothing to hide. But number two, you're trying to sell this fucking place out from underneath Carlos's hands. You know, you're trying to sell a son of a bitch out from underneath Carlos's hands here. So I don't want to have any part of this. I don't want any part of this. Number one, you're not coming in my house. Well, about 10 days later, I come home and my spare key that I put on my door casing outside was laying on the interior of the porch door that comes into the kitchen, laying on the floor. So I proceeded into the house and I sat right down and I got on the phone and I looked on my security cameras, and they ducked the main security camera coming in, but they didn't see the security camera off to the side, and it nailed their dogs, someone's dogs. So somebody had been in here 10 days after he had. So really a weird goddamn thing, really strange thing. So I felt like I should tell Carlos about it. So I told Carlos about it, and holy shit, he's trying to get this place from George, and George thinks he has this place through common law, and so it's a big fight, and I'm in the middle of this goddamn thing, and I don't want to be. I've lost all of my family fucking members. I have a business that I'm needing to get going, and I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to be a part of this saga, you know. So I felt I better tell Carlos about it. So he was happy that I was sharing the news with him, and he was dumbfounded. He says, "Lynn, we didn't want to raise the rent. We didn't want to raise the rent at all. We had no intention of raising the rent on you. We had no intention." So anyway, as time went on, here Carlos here about 2 months ago, probably 2 months ago, he said, "Would you be interested in going down and signing an affidavit with my attorney, and make a statement of all of the things that George had done to you? You know, the raising of the rent and someone coming in the house, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd go down there and sign the papers that this is factual stuff that actually happened." Well, so I did. And that was probably a month ago, because it was 3 weeks ago, since it was during my hernia operation thing. So now as we move forward to today's day, I've decided, I've done so much work around this place. I stained the deck, I've fixed the roof, I've caulked all around here so the bees and the bugs and everything don't come in. This place is unlivable. I've hung curtains all throughout this place. I've done all kinds of shit. So the last couple of months I billed him for George. I just sent him a bill and said, "Here's the bill." And the bill coincidentally came up to $2,400. That's in even 2 months. And I didn't mean to do that. That's just how that came about. Even 2 months of rent-free, period. Don't want to talk to the guy. He's an asshole. It's almost like he's raped me. Well, especially the coming in the fucking house. So I sent him a note and said, you know, that's the way that is, and there you go. And so now, with the signing of the goddamn affidavit and that, it shows me that those people were really freaked out about it. And me knowing now that they're so freaked out about it that I went and signed affidavits with an attorney, it's like, you know what? They would have had me at $700 a month. So I went to the bank yesterday and I got all of my bank statements of how much over I paid for this house just because of that drunken pig. 2 nights of drunkenness made him $15,600 minimum. I can look now, I could go and really dial it down, but $15,600 I've paid over, and whereas they never would have had that happen. So, I brought it to Carlos's attention, and here's the fucking crazy thing. I wanted to bring it to Carlos's attention because I was thinking, I just won't pay rent for a year. I'm going to make that fucker pay me back. Through his drunken behavior, he's going to pay me back. And the only way he can pay me back is if I take it through the rent. Because he doesn't have a pot to piss in. You know, so for me to send him a bill for $15,600, I'd never see the money. So I'll just do it with the rent scene. We'll just go that way. So I talked to Carlos about it, and the minute Carlos could feel the fact that I was going to go down to $700 or freeze him out, Carlos was all like, well, that isn't how that was. No, he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, we probably would have, he doesn't have, he's the executive of the house. He can do whatever he wants with it. He can do whatever. Carlos backpedaled like you would never, ever, ever believe. He even backpedaled about the dogs. I said, and I'm going to have the dogs investigated. See, I talked to Carlos right down here on the road yesterday. Coincidentally, I ran into him. He says, oh no, the dogs are from the neighbors down the road. I was talking to Jeff up above, and the dogs are from the neighbors down below. And they've been passing through and coming around here and kind of just passing through. And it's like, are you shitting me? And I have security cameras all around this goddamn house, and my cameras have never picked up those dogs except for the day that someone came into this house. Are you telling me that that's how that went? So Carlos was severely backpedaling. Really, really backpedaling. So the conversation yesterday with Carlos was really drab. It was really, like, oh, geez, no, George is doing the right thing. He's doing it. And that isn't the way that was at fucking all. Not at all. He was freaked out enough to have me go down and sign affidavits. And now he's saying, oh, no, there's nothing going on. So last night I called like an idiot, and this is stupid of me, just dumber than shit of me. PTSD just flying through the fucking roof with me. I called George's attorney. What's her name? Or Carlos's attorney. I called her I said, what did I sign? What affidavits did I sign? Can you talk to me about them? Can you tell me about them? So then her and Carlos said, oh no, we're not going to use them. Whatever you signed there, what you signed there, that's just a safety valve. We don't need any of that stuff. We don't need any of it at all. Well, it was hard. It was severe enough for me to drive down to Kalispell, Montana to sign these affidavits. It had to do with something, So anyway, I'm thinking, holy shit, I'm not, you guys Carlos is freaked out. He's backpedaling because he wants to make sure that if the house does go to him, he gets the $1,200. He doesn't want to go with the $700 that I would dial down. I figured I'd just go down to the original $700 and just pay the $700 a month, period, until this house is sold, or until they figure out whatever the fuck they got going on. And then when the house gets sold and taken care of, then we can renegotiate rent and all that kind of thing, and we can sign up a 1 year contract on a rental, rent it for a year a whack, a rental agreement for a year a whack, with whatever price that may be. So I called Carlos last night because it was fucking pending so much, and I knew what he was doing. I knew he was backpedaling like a bitch. So I called him last night, basically, and I did talk to him. He picked up the phone, and I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to take it down to $700 a month. And I just told him what I told you. Then when the goddamn place, if you guys get the place, then we can, I says, you can crank it up to $1,400 a month if you want. I just want peace in the fucking valley. I just want to know that I'm going to be here. And with what the fuck is going on right now, and this guy here, the drunk, I don't want to give him $1,200 a month. Just, I opened up the bar for him. I'm just paying for his fucking booze. You know, he didn't even tell those boys, nobody of the Carlos Flores family is getting one penny of what George is getting. He's getting $1,200. He's taking the whole fucking Marianne. Taking every fucking penny, even from those kids. Not even a nickel from what they say. See, now I'm to the point where it's very hard for me to believe anybody, you know. And where are my rights? Where are my rights renting this place? Where in the fuck are my rights? So anyway, it's April 1st. I almost said April Fool's. That isn't the April Fool's joke, sadly. So it's April 1st, and away I go here. I'm going to go take a shower and get my brain sparklers going, and there's a lot of shit that I got to do. Boy, I'll tell you what, there's a fucking lot of stuff that I have to do. So that's what I have going on. I guess I'm going to have to get an attorney. I had one of my new properties send me an email yesterday that I got this morning. I just opened it up this morning saying, we're ready to expand the business with you. So that's good. I'm probably going to have to spend money to get an attorney. I might have to get an attorney. And what I do is like I said, and I'm repeating myself, but I would rent this place for the $700 agreed upon. Just send him the bare bones son of a bitch. And then when this place goes to him, I'd go up, I guess. I guess I'd be fine with going up in price with the 1 year contract. I want a 1 year fucking contract. I want to know what's going on. And probably 6 months down the road, I want to redo another 1 year fucking contract. Because I don't want to not know what's going on. Places are hard to come by in the valley. You know, you'll be in a 7-story fucking apartment for $3,100 a month in Kalispell. So, anyway, that's what I have going on. A lot of crazy stuff. And I'm gonna go shower now so I can get my wheels rolling here. But I wanted to shoot a video of what's going on, and I'll post it to YouTube. So that's what I have going on, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.